mean, like, what if?
2026.
Okay.
Were required, yeah.
Do we have to pay for those
We
ourselves?
just like had this pop up.
Clark Road, where it's flooded by gallons. There's people already parked all over the water in there.
Is it gonna be
Right?
a bike basically the same as these ones?
The state will
Today's
do machines and comes out. They will present it to the county and all the municipalities. The municipalities will give their advice to the county, but the county has ultimate decision.
No room for screwing up. That's why.
Is that okay?
Does it make sense that they're all the same?
Yeah, everybody's
Do you think we get done by stuff?
I used to read the reports of the mayor's time or months time.
But I see on television, they talk
50–60% of them, I feel, 40% of them, people flying in conditions of planes they shouldn't fly. And 10% or so, or 5% mechanical failure.
It is?
No, she gave you a separate copy of
they
the
look-
thing.
everybody seems to have.
This?
She gave, no, it should have been, it might be in your box. Because it was separate than the
Oh,
budget.
you know what? I have it right here.
Yes, it was separate than your agenda, I should say. Yes.
Jennifer.
All right, we're going to call this meeting to order. Good evening. This is the Bath Charter Township Board of Trustees meeting for Monday, October 20th, 2025. Welcome, everyone. Let's do a roll call.
Mr. Funes Bliss?
I'm here.
Ms. Butler Challenger here. Ms. Wilson?
Here.
Ms. Hagerman?
Here.
Ms. Kellerman?
Here.
Mr. Cocky?
Here.
Mr. Rosecrans?
Here,
Thank you.
We are all here. We're going to move on to the civic reflection. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance and follow with a moment of silence. Please rise and join us if you're able for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now a moment of silence, and I'd ask that you join in your thoughts, the victims of our plane accident this week. Thank you. Approval of the agenda. I have asked our superintendent to include a quick wrap-up report on the emergency response in her report. Our chiefs are still tending to the response right now and couldn't join us, but as soon as they are available, we'll have them join us to debrief us as well. But Karen has been plugged in the entire time, so she is the next best thing. Anything folks wanted to move or add, remove?
Motion to approve the agenda as written.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second to approve the agenda as it has been presented. Is there any other discussion, questions, concerns? Hearing none, we'll take a voice vote. All those in favor of approving the agenda tonight as presented, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, we've got an agenda. Is there any disclosure of conflicts of interest tonight? Seeing none, we'll move to did you have one? I'm sorry. We'll move to public statement 1. This is limited to 3 minutes, designated for statements concerning items on the agenda tonight. There will be a second opportunity at the end of the meeting for another public statement with additional 3 minutes for anyone to speak on any township-related matters at that time.
Good evening, Judy Gardy. First of all, while Doug is here, I just want to compliment and thank the partnership and the collaboration between the township board, the administration, and the road committee, the road commission. The roads look wonderful, just absolutely wonderful. Great job, and thank you very much. Secondly, I wanted to just address the strategic plan for a minute. 2 weeks ago, I was here, and I expressed my appreciation for you taking the time to work with us on the development of the strategic plan. The thing that just concerns me the most is on page 23, under Committee C, number 2, where it says, all previous township board actions establishing non-statutory advisory boards and committees except for the Park Lake Advisory Board are repealed. So it seems to me that you're taking away the authority that you have right now to get community input through your boards and your committees and giving it over to Karen. And I feel strongly that that engagement on your part of bringing in committee members and volunteers and assigning them tasks and asking them to do specific things for you, and for us as the community are important. And in my opinion, it keeps us all engaged and working together. And by giving that, repealing all of those and giving the authority to Karen really kind of takes your responsibility out of it. And as our elected officials, I think that's something that you should think about. I don't think that that's the right action. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Judy. Anyone else in the audience like to address the board tonight? Seeing no other, we'll move over to item number 6, items from county, state, federal, and other agencies. We have our friend Doug Steffen here, Managing Director of the Clinton County Road Commission, to address us about an issue. Welcome.
Good evening, Doug Steffen, Managing Director of the Clinton County Road Commission. Thanks for having me again tonight. It's hard to believe it's been a year since I've been here. It seems like the years just go by so quickly, but, and thank you, Judy, for the compliments. We had a wonderful year this year for road work, and one prime example is Webster Road right out here in front of the office. It turned out fantastic. I know that was quite a few years in the making, having to step back to incorporate that TAP funding to get all that sidewalk work done and the safe routes to school. But it was definitely the right thing to do to get that all done. So we've had nothing but compliments. We are getting close to finaling everything out, but just let people know if you get concerns through the winter and spring, if something happens and the grass doesn't all grow just perfectly, we will touch those things up in the spring. So that's typical when we have those summer projects. You know, the worst time to plant grass is in the heat of the summer. So we will be back to take care of those things if anything comes up. But just for kind of a countywide update, along with this project, we had many others just like it in the county. We did a total of 13 miles of primary road paving this year, reconstruction and paving, all very large projects. This one was probably the most involved with sidewalk and curb and gutter, but we had another one up on Colony Road from Wright Road to Forest Hill, DeWitt Road from Kinley from M21 to Kinley, and then Kinley up to Colony Road, Francis Road from Pratt to Price Road. And currently, we're working on Airport Road. So that's phase 1 this year is from Herbison Road to Clark. And then next year, we'll be finishing phases 2 and 3, which is from Clark all the way up to Grand River. So over the course of this fall and next spring, we'll have that entire Airport Road corridor complete. Well, that's about right around $6.5–7 million total in some intersection upgrades, some new signals, lots of new paving, some widening to incorporate the growth up there. So all wonderful projects that we're really proud of. With that, we completed 45 miles of primary chip seal and 20 miles of local this year, so a total of 65 miles, all on the east side of the county. We alternate our chip seal every year, so next year we'll be moving over to the west side. We do that to stage materials. It's expensive to truck materials a long ways, so we stage our products throughout the east side this year so we can have less of a haul to make it more efficient. So the document I passed out, or had Karen pass out to you, and about a year ago I touched on this. I was having the not-so-fun job of coming out to our townships in years past and having to tell you that we have to close a road because we have a culvert that failed. And mainly because we didn't know where all of our culverts were. So this document, and I have to give my staff kudos on this was my engineering team that thought of this product, but we had sat down as a group and we wanted to come up with a way that we could better serve our townships. And this is an asset management planning tool. We geared up with a local engineering firm, and we conducted a survey in the entire county on every culvert that's 60 inches in diameter, so that's 5 feet, up to 19 feet. So anything that's over 19.5 feet is considered a bridge. If it's under 19.5 feet, it's a culvert. So there might be some culverts out there that look like bridges, but they're still technically a culvert based on the width. And this document basically logged every culvert in the township. We did all 16 townships. It took us about a year and a half to complete. So if you look at the very front page, it has a summary. There's 7 culverts in good condition, 3 in fair, and 2 in poor condition in Bath Township. Now, out of those 2 that are poor, one of them is on it's the Remy Chandler drain crossing on Chandler Road. That's actually our structure. That's a primary road. That one is actually our responsibility to take care of. That one's going to get done next year with our Chandler Road project. And the only other one is on Angle Road, which is a local. And you can see a little bit of cost information there. The cost, that's a very broad number. That's if we did not have time to do these things internal. That's if we had to contract the whole thing out. we're pretty conservative on the cost, but when the time comes, we'll work with you a lot closer on that. This is basically a tool for us to plan, be able to recommend projects to Karen and the road committee, so we don't have to close roads in the future. That's our goal, is to never have to have a surprise road closure. So, very proud of the staff and the team for getting this done. It's something that now, when we have a poor culvert, every 6 months, a member of my staff is gonna be inspecting that culvert to make sure that nothing's changing, nothing's happening to it, so we can better plan and better come up with a maintenance tool to get these things replaced in a more timely manner. So, I'm happy to answer any questions you have on that. I'll email you this, Karen, just so you have a digital copy for your minutes. And then, we're working on a better map. The map in there's not great right now. This is our first draft. We're gonna keep updating this as the time comes. But I'm happy to answer any questions if you have them on that part.
So the Remy Chandler, you said, is your responsibility
It is.
because of, it's a
It's-
primary
it's a
road?
primary
But if it's
road.
not a primary road, it's township responsibility?
Yes,
I have a question.
yes.
It appears, correct me if I'm wrong, but it appears the Ramey Chandler drain starts at the outlet of Park Lake.
That's, yeah, very possible. Yeah.
Um,
I know it comes out of Meridian Township and East Lansing and stuff too over there, I believe.
There's a culvert at that land bridge directly below the water control structure.
Okay.
Do you know if you checked that? I believe that's I swear it was.
So the only ones we would have checked is if they cross a road.
Oh, okay.
Yep, if they're a road crossing, they're technically a combination of our responsibility and the township. If they're just a drain crossing within the drain, that's drain commission responsibility.
That was a road at one time, but,
Okay.
you know,
Yeah, if it's not a public certified road now, then we would not
Okay.
have logged that.
thank you.
Yep, you're welcome. Any other questions? All right, thank you. And moving on to, we'll be reaching out here. Typically, we have our meeting in November. We'll be getting you a list of projects that we'd recommend for next year to look over and talk about. I know we had a lot of, especially early this spring, a lot of Frontier and MetroNet in the area doing communication cables. I know that stuff is ongoing. We dealt with a lot of different aspects of them boring too shallow and not doing restoration properly. So if there's anything lingering out there, if you hear anything, please let us know. We still have those things open. Those aren't not closed out yet, so we still have some pressure we can hold over them to get those things complete. One really big accomplishment for the road commission, and this has been a goal of ours for many years. We've funded our pension liabilities at just over 100%. That was a goal that we tried to get done by 2025. We achieved that goal. We are funded at 103% this year. So that's gonna free up a large amount of money to now put back into the primary roads, back into the culverts, back into the community. So very positive thing there, so. Other than that, if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. Yeah, go ahead.
The invasive species that you guys had been studying and thinking about spraying?
Oh, like the
is that any closer?
Phragmites and things like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have contacted, I think they call it a SISMA, there's a statewide group.
Yep.
Just to work through them so they can log it and start the process, but we have not got like an official project off the ground for that, so. We had talked about having somebody just come out and spray it, but they don't want you to. They want to log each location so they can monitor it and do it through that platform, so. Nothing's been done yet, but we are pursuing it.
Yeah, when they put that water line down, Park Lake Road, they took half of that one, just before you get to that, building for the Dead Man's Curve.
Okay.
There was a tall, like a cattail type of plant, and they dug all that up. I don't know what that's gonna do, if that's gonna really spread it, or,
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's possible, depends on what it is. The biggest ones we see are Phragmites and Japanese knotweed. Those are the two main ones that we've seen in the county so
Nasty
far that are invasive like that, so. But I can take a look at the Park Lake Road one. Would that be East Lansing?
no, just before you get to Meridian Township,
Okay, all
right
right,
down there by the sod farm,
all right, I'll take a look at it. Thank you.
yeah.
Anything else? All right, well, thank you guys for your time. And
Thanks for being here.
if you have any questions, reach out. December 1st. I believe, did you get an invite for that? You should have gotten an invite here. And the MDOT Traffic Summit is December 1st, again at the Road Commission. I believe it's at 10 a.m. That's where MDOT comes in every year and just discusses their plans for the roadways that are MDOT controlled in the area for the next year or two.
I think I also got that.
Yep.
Is that a yearly thing or is it?
Every year they do it, yep. Every year they come in, we invite them in, they use our facility, they invite the townships and public officials to come in, and, I do know that next year, 127's not done. There's 2 more years yet of the 127 project. The main artery of that this year's gonna be complete, but they're gonna move up to I-69 and work their way back over the next 2 years, so. I just hope they don't haul any more material down Drumheller Road for Brandon, but we're all over that, so, yeah.
It's a good meeting to go to.
It is.
They keep it to maybe an hour and a half.
Yep.
And
And-
doing a nice job.
Yeah, they have a good open forum, you can ask any questions you want about, road fund, how they fund things and kind of how they pick projects, and we try to coordinate with them, that's why we like to do it, because then we don't have roads closed when they have roads closed, and try to work around it.
And what was the date and time again?
December 1st, 10 a.m.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, you're welcome. Thank you, have a great day.
I don't think we have anybody else that we're expecting today.
Correct.
All right, that brings us to the consent agenda. We've got minutes of police and fire, minutes of rec advisory committee. Would anyone like to remove anything from the consent agenda? If not, we'd take a motion to move those forward.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. We do that without discussion, doing a roll call vote.
Mr. Kyke?
Yes.
Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
Mr. Funes Bliss?
Yes.
Ms. Butler Challenger, yes. Mr. Rosecrans?
Yes.
Ms. Hagerman?
Yes.
Ms. Kellerman?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Approval of minutes is number 8. We have minutes of the Board of Trustees meeting of October 6th.
I'll make the motion to approve the minutes from October 6th.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion, questions, concerns about the minutes from October 6th? Hearing none, we'll take a voice vote. All those in favor of approval of the minutes of the Board of Trustees meeting of October 6, 2025, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, that motion carries. That brings us to the approval of vouchers. I saw I was the last person to sign off on the vouchers tonight. Would anyone like to put a motion forward to approve them today?
I'll make a motion to approve the vouchers.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion about the vouchers? All right, hearing none, we'll go to a roll call vote.
Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
Mr. Funes Bliss?
Yes.
Ms. Butler Challenger, yes. Mr. Rosecrans?
Yes.
Ms. Hagerman?
Yes.
Ms. Kellerman?
Yes.
Mr. Kyke?
Yes.
Thank you.
We have no treasurer's report. No
Yes, we do.
Oh, we do?
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, I'm sorry. It didn't list anything there. I'm so
Because it doesn't
sorry.
say the next one. Well, Ryan, it's okay. It must be, there's
No,
no
look, I'm
questions.
removing the check from the number.
Nobody has questions
We'll
then.
go
Must
back.
be.
This is the first time in like 6 months you haven't said, is there a
In 3
treasurer's
months.
report? No.
In 3 months, we'll do it, yeah.
Long week.
Right? Well, that's okay. We can skip it. There's
We have,
nothing
no, we have a
new.
treasurer's report.
nothing
You
new.
deserve all the attention that you have put into this.
That-
Please, take it away.
There's nothing really to say. We've earned a lot of interest. Rates have been going down. I just renewed a couple of this week, one last week and one this week. The rates basically went from 5% that we got last year, and they're down to 3.99. So the rates have been coming down, but, so,
You got them before they went down?
they're at 3.99 right now. Last year at this time, they were at 5. So, they're slowly coming down. Hopefully they'll stabilize. We just don't know. So, but it gives you the dollar amounts for the general fund sewer,
Yeah.
because the sewer, we're gonna have to be using on projects.
And it looks like there's a couple that are coming up
Yeah.
soon. No, that's this
Yes,
month. Those
yeah.
are the ones that you just redid?
Well, the one on the 16th I did, the other one comes due tomorrow. And actually, the 180 days, that one didn't change. That one's the same rate as it was.
My brain hasn't shifted into October yet.
I know. So, yeah.
And the water fund at the end of the year.
Yep.
Questions?
Okay.
Thank you. So sorry that I almost skipped you.
It's okay, usually there's a date on there, Ryan, when it's gonna be presented.
You're right.
Okay.
Now I'm rechecking the number. It's done. There are definitely no committee appointments, and no committee reports on number 12, so that brings us to number 13, unfinished business, item A, news for introduction discussion. First up is our financial audit presentation from last year. Adam Frost is here.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Adam, and I am with the CPA firm Maynard Casterson. I am not part of the auditors, but I did assist the township in regards to the audit prep for the audit this past year. The township reached out to me and said Steve Breyer was unable to make it for a presentation, but he did provide us a memo. And I'm here to kind of go through the memo, but give a little more detail, a little further detail on some of the information on this memo as well. So first thing on the memo here, this is for the December 31st, 2024 audit. So the township did receive an unmodified opinion, which overall that's the best you can get when it comes to your audit. So as it says here, it shows on page 1, in the second paragraph, it says, in our opinion, the financial statements referred to above present fairly in all material respects the respective financial position of the governmental activities, business type activities, each major fund, and all aggregate remaining, all information. So between all the funds, all throughout the township, everything came back materially accurate, it looked reasonable, everything came back good for an unmodified opinion. So if we go down on the memo here to the third bullet point, you'll see we did not have any concerns regarding the township or over any of the other funds. So again, everything came back clean, everything looks good, no concerns there. And then we can go on to the fourth bullet point here. There were no internal control findings. So this said, that means all throughout the township, our key controls that we have in place, there are proper reviews being done, everything is being examined over like it should. And even this year, we've gone through on our end and we implemented a review, having Brenda go through and start looking over the GL, like journal entries, to add an extra piece of review to ensure that everybody is included in the process of the general ledger and has an understanding of what's going on and all key controls are in place. So going into a little more detail in regards to the general fund itself and kind of give you an overview of how general fund did this past year. So the general fund ended up decreasing in fund balance by $883,195. Now, although this does seem like a fairly large amount, it should be noted, if you were to look in the financial statements on page 49, so this is actually the budget versus actual for the general fund. And after the final amended budget was completed, we were actually showing that in the year, we were expected to have a loss of $2,075,699. And in the grand scheme of everything, we only ended up having a fund balance decrease of $883,599. So, thing to keep in mind with the general fund budget, general fund itself, we ended up having an ending fund balance of $3,126,716, and of this amount, $2,820,919 was unassigned. Now, the GFOA, they recommend that you end up having a minimum unassigned fund balance of approximately 17%. Now, based on the bullet here, you can see it says, in bullet 2, it shows the unassigned fund balance represents approximately 70% of expenditures for the year ended December 31st, 24. Now, that did not take in consideration the transfers. So if you take in consideration the transfers, it's actually 55%, but it's still a good number to be at, especially if the GFOA is recommending 17% overall. So,
Can I ask you a question about that?
yes.
Rod Taylor has
Yep.
informed us that that is actually an incredibly small number for a fund balance. I've always thought we had, as you said, sort of a generous fund balance. He said, I think the average in the area was like 109% or something like that, and that we were low in compared to our colleagues across the region. Is that your understanding? Is that your recommendation as well?
So my understanding, after talking with my partner, Steve Kernovic, he kind of came back and we were looking over the numbers and we came back to the 55 and 70%. Ideally, we've always seen it in regards to, like it reads for the GFOA, a minimum of 17%. So I think overall the township is still in good financial position. And then obviously there is the consideration of, okay, going forward, what is there that we need to keep in consideration to maintain that fund balance? And that's the biggest thing to focus on.
And, excuse me, what did you say our fund balance is presently in a
So
percentage?
your percentage right now is at 55%.
55, I was, yeah,
Yep.
I did hear that. Thank you.
Yep, not a problem. So then, the other thing to keep in mind, this year, there was a new standard called GASB 101, and that related to an adjustment, so you'll notice in the financials, it'll say like a restatement of net position. So basically with that said, the GASB came out with the new standard for compensated absences, and you had to do an adjustment based on how much time, how much sick and leave and all that were earned versus what's actually been used in the year. So it actually ended up increasing the liability, so we had to do a restatement.
Yeah.
Other than that, is there any other questions?
Looks like none for you. Karen, do you have anything you want to say or add to
I
this?
do. I would like to offer that we have had a good working relationship with Siegfried Crandall. There has been frustration over the last couple of years. I know that you shared that frustration too. We expect that when we work with them, that they will come and present this to us, and it's almost as if once they conduct the actual work in-house and produce the document, they're almost done with us. It's been very frustrating, and I know Maynard shares in the frustration that part of their agreement is that they come and present this to us in a timely fashion, and the deputy superintendent has been working since June to get this presentation to you, so I apologize for its lateness, but I finally had to modify my expectation in getting a document from them and having Maynard graciously offer to come and do this presentation to you, knowing that you would, of course, like to ask questions and have some understanding of the financial audit results. We are very fortunate that we run a tight ship when it comes to our finances, and that is due in part to the mayor's assistance and the diligence of our staff and our elected officials. But I will continue to work towards having the presentation done by the firm that is providing the opinion to you. I will not stop that, and if it continues to be an issue, of course, we'll have an opportunity when the contract is up to look at other firms to conduct our audit and place an importance on having them come and present this information to you.
When's that contract up?
I think, thank you very much for that. So one more year, we think.
So the 25
7 would be new.
2025
audit?
2025, these are the fiscal year 2025.
Do they have 5-year contracts or what?
They're usually 2 to 3. I think we signed a 3-year with them this last.
Sounds about right.
So, and that is a contract that you approve as the board.
Okay, I wasn't here then.
Any other questions for Maynard or for Karen? All right. Thank you for being here.
Thanks, Adam.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Now go watch those Lions.
Yes, please.
Oh, can I get in?
Yeah, I don't know enough about this audit to ask questions, so.
All right, that brings us to 13, large A, small b, Eaton Area Ambulance Agreement Update. Karen?
So I wanted to share with you the agreement that this body approved recently, but I think both in June and then in July, that with Eaton Area Ambulance through U of M, has been a frustrating issue for myself as well as the municipal managers of both the city of DeWitt and DeWitt Township. Of course, you know that agreement isn't just with Eaton Area, but is with U of M Sparrow. It has been a long, slow, painful process to work through their organization to get the contract both negotiated and approved through the organization. The municipal managers are frustrated, to say the least. I would like to offer you that Eaton Area Ambulance is doing an amazing job. They are taking the calls, they are responding. People in our communities are getting wonderful service from Eaton Area. They actually were on scene with us Thursday night during the plane crash. The entire time there was a unit there, both for the victims, if there had been any potential survivors, in addition to everyone that was on scene working very hard to deal with the critical incident. We are getting service. The other side of that is that it's been very complex to deal with the negotiations, and all I can say is that I feel that Eaton Area, the contract brought to the table was what I think they had provided communities in the past, such as Eaton Rapids, and felt that they had a solid contract. Now, when it went back to the organization for their legal and financial accounting review, I think we're gonna see some changes come back to us. They have frequently, throughout our times meeting with them, told us it would be another 2 weeks or it would be another month. And it's a very frustrating thing that I brought that contract to this board twice now for review and approval, and we still do not have a signed contract from them. We have been told, the managers and I met for breakfast last week, and we've been told to expect another red line contract from U of M here coming up. I think that our strategy this time will be to have them sign the contract so that we can ensure that what we are bringing to you is the final contract. But you will see it one more time, and we will have time to discuss it, just as we always do. I will not rush this final contract through this body. I appreciate that you were willing to do that in the past so that our residents would have service, but I will bring it back to you. You will have time to get the information on what has changed in it from me, and have legal review it again, because Mr. Patterson of A.D. Schultz has taken a look at it prior to this, but we'll have him take another look before it comes back to you. I'm not interested in I won't call it wasting your time, but I don't anticipate having this come before you multiple times again in the future. So I appreciate the fact that you were willing to flex and flow with me and try to get something undertaken so that our community had coverage. We are seeing that the community does in fact have that coverage, but coming to that final deal has been difficult. So not to keep laboring the point, but it will be back to you again for introduction and discussion. We will be thorough in our review of that prior to bringing that to you, and then once you approve it, it will in fact be signed by all of the municipalities that currently have coverage with Eden area. But I do want to, again, just stress that we are receiving service. It is a good service that we are receiving. And I think the changes are reasonable. I just wish that they had taken place and been straighter in their communication with us of what that process would be like on their end. Because I think we thought that we would be done with it at this point, that it was going to be a much easier process, more streamlined than it was. So my apologies to you. The other communities that are involved in this process are frustrated, and I recognize that you should feel frustrated as well. And it's been frustrating for me to try to bring you a contract for a service that benefits our community, but still knowing that we need them. They also, in a sense, need us. And trying to just make sure that we have that deal properly inked for all parties to be represented fairly. So if you have any questions, I'm open to them.
I have one.
Yes, please.
Are they just charging us legacy charges then for calls?
So the payment was actually supposed to start in January, so that will still be what will occur. If you recall from the contract, was a cost based on, between the municipalities, was a cost based on population for a new ambulance. That will still be the case. They are in fact trying to ink some of those details in based on population, whereas we as municipalities broke out that cost and figured out what it would be for each of us. They're gonna put that into the contract, to make it more, concrete. It's what it always was, so I don't anticipate, the language will change, but the meaning behind it will not. The cost will be the same, should be the same to all of us.
Yeah.
As it was before. So, we're not, it's not as if they're not currently being paid. They will be paid in January as they were always intended to be paid.
Good. Thank you.
I know it won't make you feel better, but in my day job, I do a lot of grant making and contracting with the public universities and their offshoots, and this is not unusual. And it's maddening and it's frustrating, and in my case, I'm giving them money, and they tell me I have to change my contract to give them money, so I feel your pain deeply about that.
I feel like the words you just spoke were inaccurate representation of how I feel. So thank you.
Any other questions, comments?
Ultimately, as long as people are getting service,
Correct.
that truly is
Yeah.
the most important part, because
I
maybe 9 or 10 months ago, we weren't so certain about that,
Correct.
so.
I feel the same way you do, and I have to remind myself that people are receiving service, and so it helps me manage my level of frustration, but you're correct.
Yeah, and I've seen them around a few times
They are everywhere.
recently, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are everywhere they need to be, and we all three municipal managers agree that they are in fact doing their job very well, and we are receiving a better service than we were before, so that is the saving grace in all of it.
I see them every day. And did see them at the scene out there too.
Yep, they were.
Thank you for that, Karen.
Thank you.
That brings us to 13B, items for action under unfinished business. Item A is acceptance of the financial audit for fiscal year 2024. Superintendent, you want to take the lead on that?
So the formal action is for this board to accept the financial audit. We place that on file, and that does not necessarily mean that you approve of it, or it is just us receiving it and placing it on file for record in the township. It's a very formal action you take, it is a standard action you take each year to accept the audit.
And we send this audit once accepted to the state,
No,
or?
it's
already
sent
been
to the state.
extended.
Oh, even before we've
That has
accepted
to be
it?
done
we
by
see
the end
it,
of
yeah.
June.
That's due by the end of June.
Yeah.
It's a
No.
requirement, and we adhere to that requirement even before it's accepted by this body.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely need the auditors to do
Correct.
a faster job then, because
I agree
that's
with
uncomfortable, but I hear what you're saying.
You always, I don't think you have ever accepted it prior to the end of June. It is traditionally you're
July,
accepting it
August.
in July or August. But we do everything that we need to do by state law to ensure that it is on file with the state.
Yeah, it's just uncomfortable sending something to the state that we haven't approved
I
or
would
accepted, not
agree.
approved.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you're on top of that, though, thank you for all of those things. So you're looking for a motion from us to accept the financial audit for fiscal year 2024.
Correct.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second to accept the financial audit for fiscal year 2024. Discussion, questions, concerns? Ultimately, it's a pretty darn good audit. Hopefully, we can put money back into the fund balance this next year rather than take out, but ultimately, we paid for our priorities. All right, I think we probably take a roll call vote on that?
Mr. Funes Plus?
Yes.
Ms. Butler Challenger, yes. Mr. Rosecrans?
Yes.
Ms. Hagerman?
Yes.
Ms. Kellerman?
Yes.
Mr. Cockey?
Yes.
Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
Thank you.
That motion passes, thank you. Next up is item B, Resolution 2025-11, adoption of the 25-28 strategic plan. The recommendation from our strategic plan facilitator, who you know has deep knowledge of township government, is to formally adopt the strategic plan by resolution. That's what you see in your packet here. In regards to the feedback we heard in the public statement, I want to remind us that accepting the strategic plan is simply saying this is the plan. It is not putting any of those things in action yet. Each of those things that require board action, including changing committees, would come back to us at a time with a plan from the staff or wherever that belongs, and we would vote independently on that. So certainly you should still vote how you feel about the plan, but I want to ensure you a vote on the plan to say yes tonight is not ending the committees. Committees will still be meeting this week, next month, until we take further action. Are there questions on the strategic plan, concerns?
I move we adopt the 2025 to 2028 strategic plan.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to approve resolution 2025-11, adoption of the 25 to 28 strategic plan. Is there any other discussion, questions? I just want to thank you all one more time for participating in this. Again, I've said it before, but I'm going to keep saying it. The time with you to discuss how we see the future and where we want to spend our resources was very valuable to me, and I hope it was to you as well. And I've heard from the staff over and over and over, this very much gives them direction on what they should prioritize. And we had heard prior that they did not know what to prioritize because we had not told them. So I think this does a lot for us and for our team.
It's a good planning document, I think.
Yes, and thanks to Larry Merrill for bearing with us
Yeah.
in the process. Let's take a roll call vote.
Ms. Butler Challenger, yes. Mr. Rosecrans?
Yes.
Ms. Hagerman?
Yes.
Ms. Kellerman?
Yes.
Mr. Kyke?
Yes.
Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
Mr. Funes Bliss?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. So what the staff will begin to do is implementing that strategic plan. Again, anything that requires changes at the board level will come to us, and we will have a chance to influence that, talk about that, vote on that where appropriate.
Yeah, and if I could,
Yeah.
in regards to Judy's statement about getting rid of advisory boards in the senior services, the very last bullet point, it says advisory bodies are, well, it says advisory bodies appointed as needed by the Board of Trustees to research and develop. So that means, you know, if we need it, we'll get it, definitely. Ad hoc, maybe.
Yeah, that does follow how a lot of folks want to volunteer now as well. It's not for a long commitment, but more ad hoc. Thanks, Ray. Item B.C. is Resolution 2025-12, which is the adoption of the Support Emergency Operations Plan. Seems very timely for us. Superintendent Hildebrandt?
Thank you. I was going to offer the same. You can see by reviewing this plan that it formalizes many of the processes and operations that take place when things occur in our community, such as the incident on Thursday night with the plane crash. I want to offer you that although this plan should be signed every time there is a new supervisor to this township or an election of the supervisor, it did not prohibit anything from occurring last Thursday evening or since that time. We have been supported by the county emergency operations, the Clinton County Sheriff's Office, and will continue to receive those services from them. But it does formalize and put into writing how these things will occur from the township and from them as well. We did learn some things throughout the last few days that will assist us in moving forward and planning for any future disasters that may occur, critical incidents. But I can assure you that not having this formalized at this time has not impacted us at all. So I just want to assure that for you. But going forward, it is a good practice for us to have this on file. And it is tied to some funding, as you heard from former interim chief Ben Zeeb at the last meeting. So we want to ensure that this is something that's on our docket that is updated and formalized with the county, submitted to them, so that they are aware of how we handle things in a crisis and what we need from them, and essentially what we're looking for them to provide to us as well. So with that, I would answer any questions that you have in terms of this, but it also is a pretty standard process to do and have on file with the county.
Questions, thoughts?
We had mentioned at the last meeting, an emphasis on coordinating with the schools. I know there are multiple districts in Bath Township, and I know that that isn't necessarily the only focus of this plan, but I do think it's sort of as a relevant sidebar. That's something that, that the administration should consider as maybe, at least in Bath Township, or Bath Schools, the superintendent's fairly new. And I don't know about the other districts, but I think it would definitely be worthwhile to say, hey, we've done this. Should we get together and talk about it? If there were an incident, what are you expecting from us? What are we expecting from you? How do we best coordinate it together?
And hopefully have it in writing.
We will do that.
Worthwhile.
I do want to assure you, though, that some of that is already taking place, despite not having this since the previous supervisor, our police chief, is in touch with, the new superintendent, has had some of those meetings already. This will be another layer of that and more formal between, him and myself. But I will offer that even in our crisis last week, the school was, reached out to us and offered us resources as well for our critical incident. So I want to assure you that even though this isn't in place yet, those things are occurring, and we will, of course, make sure that goes both ways.
Actually, we reached out to the school.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize that you had done that.
Yeah, I mean, I heard your voice in my head, and I called the superintendent and told him what was going on, and he was just incredibly helpful and said if we need space or facilities, the school happened to be shut down, there wasn't students in it, so it was a perfect place if necessary, and I passed that along to the federal folks too, if you need fields or
Well, and it
space in the
also,
school, they were
just in
very
terms of
accommodating.
Bus routes, they were
Yes.
impacted, at least this morning. So, just like another layer that comes into all of that.
Correct. And thank you for always reminding us of that, because it's critical.
Very much so.
All right, so we're looking for adoption of the resolution.
Can I make the motion to adopt resolution number 2025-12 for promulgation, approval, and implementation of the Support Emergency Operations Plan, CEOP, SEOP, as the acronym?
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second to approve resolution 2025-12, adoption of the Support Emergency Operations Plan. Is there any other discussion?
I did have to Google promulgation. as I was reading the packet.
Are you kidding me? They don't use that in Heartland?
No, I mean, I had some context clues, but I just wanted to be sure.
They use it at the state a lot for rulemaking. All right, if there's nothing else, we'll do a roll call vote.
Mr. Rosecrans?
Yes.
Ms. Hagerman?
Yes,
Ms. Kellerman?
Yes.
Mr. Catke?
Yes.
Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
Mr. Funes Bliss?
Yes,
Ms. Butler Challenger, yes.
so promulgated. That brings us to item 14, new business items for introduction. We have none. Items for action, another resolution. Resolution 2025-13, authorizing the change in standard lighting contract with Consumers Energy. Again, I'll turn it over to the superintendent.
Thank you. This is another item that is coming to you in the wrong order. Lights have already been installed in the area, and unfortunately, that was conducted when a couple of the houses were constructed in that area. They needed additional lighting. This is the area of Chandler Road and Club Course Drive. There are some houses there being built by Mr. Kessler, a developer in Bath Township. There are 8 to 9 houses going in there currently, and of course, additional lighting was needed for those homes. There were not lights there before, and those being so close to Chandler, of course, needing lighting there because it's a high traffic area. So those 8 to 9 houses will be served by the 2 50-watt LED yellow post-top traditional unmetered streetlights, and very important that we add this to our inventory of lighting.
Repeat that 3 times.
I will not, I cannot.
All right, questions for the superintendent or action to move forward?
is that lighting that would have been included on the plans that were reviewed by the planning commission?
No, this is a separate item that will usually run, you will usually see these come directly from consumers. There will be a new streetlight district sometimes, or an amendment of a district to include these. Unfortunately, this wasn't caught at the time, so it's occurring out of, but no, the streetlight is usually not something that is included for the planning commission, to my knowledge.
Okay.
Oh, okay. The deputy superintendent tells me she thinks it might have been on this one, but how it's coming to you is out of order, so.
Okay. I just know that the planner is really keen on
is.
going through that
Yes, you are correct.
particular topic, so it gives me comfort that if he looked at it, then it's fine.
So, as of course, they are already installed, but yeah, here we are. So, just a little backwards for the board.
Did we get a motion on that?
No, we haven't had a motion.
Not yet.
No, you
Sort of
haven't asked
froze
for
there
one.
for a second and thought, where are we? Would anyone like to put forward a motion?
I'll make that motion for resolution 2025-13.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on resolution 2025-13 to authorize the change in standard lighting contract with our friends at Consumers Energy. Any other discussion, questions, or concerns? Hearing none, we'll do another roll call vote.
Ms. Hagerman?
Yes.
Ms. Kellerman?
Yes.
Mr. Catke?
Yes.
Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
Mr. Funes Bliss? Ms.
Yes,
Butler Challenger, yes. Mr. Rosecrans?
Yes.
Thank you.
that resolution passes. That brings us to the superintendent's report. You have designated that you're going to do a department project update and also an update on the emergency response as you feel necessary.
Yeah, so, as the supervisor mentioned, at your next meeting, you will receive from me both a written and a verbal, departmental project update. It is due, we've been trying to do those at least once a quarter. I hope to time them, more in line with the treasurer's report, because it's a nice, thing for both of us to be heading to the same meeting, providing critical updates to all of you. So I look forward to that. There is a lot of critical work happening, currently, and, things that I want you all to be aware of, so, that will occur at the next meeting. I know that you all have been receiving regular updates from Mr. Supervisor, who has been a phenomenal partner to me over the last few days. It feels like a very long time, so I almost said week, and it feels like a much longer time period than that. At about 5:30 on Thursday night, of course, I was notified by our police chief that there had been a plane crash. He knew nothing more than that at that time, and I called the supervisor immediately, and we jumped into a car together, which is not something we usually do during a critical incident. We both remain at our own homes and communicate with each other as information comes to me from the chiefs and those agencies that are involved in certain critical incidents, but this was something very different. I think we both felt it and both knew it, and we're on scene for most of the night. We left for a little bit to get some food for our first responders. As you know, Mr. Jim Spagnolo provided some pizzas and some water free of charge to our first responders. We appreciate him very much for that, and I now have his phone number, and I've been told to call him personally should I need anything in the future, which I very much appreciate. He's a good man, and he's a good community supporter. We were on site for about, I think, at least 5 hours with the first responders. We stayed with the fire chief, who had set up incident command on Clark Road, so we stood on Clark Road for some 5 hours. It was a little chilly for us, which one of us was prepared for. I joke. But you would have been impressed. Our police and fire, our chiefs, we have an amazing group of people. We had tremendous support from other communities, to try to say those two words together. People came from all over to assist us, including the federal government. The NTSB and the Federal Aviation Administration perhaps came up from the Detroit area, but we're in contact with our people throughout the evening until they arrived on scene. You would be amazed at how well those things work when you're in the middle of it. I had not been part of a critical incident prior, just via phone, so to be on scene and to see everyone, even when standing around, were ready and to do anything they were asked to do, and ready to serve at a moment's notice. So they were all on guard and ready the entire evening. So in a way, it's a very busy, chaotic scene, and in a way, it's a very quiet, structured thing to watch unfold in front of you. Ryan and I went out on scene yesterday to visit the site to have a better understanding of what was occurring. And I know we've shared a lot of that information, or he has shared a lot of that information with you. One of our main concerns was in a site where a lot of contaminants had been released into the air and into the environment. The DNR was set to release a large amount of pheasants yesterday to a bunch of awaiting hunters. They made a very good decision, I believe, with the help of the supervisor and potentially Senator Sam Singh, to not do that yesterday. So we saw that as a win. I know that the person that I was in contact with today said there were a lot of angry hunters that were upset that they didn't have that release didn't take place, but I do think for the sport and for the area, it was a good decision not to do that. As of 4 p.m. this afternoon, the plane and its pieces and parts have been removed from the land where the crash occurred, and has been transported so that it can be further investigated by the NTSB and the FAA. So it is no longer in our township, which is a blessing, because our police chief was given the task of ensuring the safety and security of that crash site 24 hours a day since that event occurred, which was stretching our resources, our people resources really. Not just our police officers, but our firefighters took shifts around the clock watching that site to make sure that nobody went in there and took anything or disrupted that scene for the investigators. So we were able to meet some of those investigators on scene. Critically important work that they're doing, and I just am amazed at how personable and wonderful these people are for the job that they're undertaking, but to take time and answer questions and to meet with the police chief, fire chief, with the supervisor and I, very gracious people that love the work they do, but hard work, very hard and reaching work that they do on our behalf. I'm very grateful. You don't always hear, when the federal government comes in, it isn't always a positive, but I will tell you, it's been positive in every way, working with these people that have come to our township to assist us. So as of the plane being removed, Clark Road is again open to everyday traffic, to buses, to everyone. The area of the plane crash is still roped off in the back. There will be additional environmental remediation that will need to occur in that area. It's very clear that something happened there, and I doubt anyone will want to enter into that area for hunting purposes or just even just being in nature. I'm sure it's an area that will be avoided until we're able to restore it back to the condition that it was in prior to the crash. Our job moves now to care of people and cost reimbursement. Both our chiefs have been in touch with the insurance agency that is responsible for some of the equipment that we lost and some of the cost that we will try to recoup. Legal counsel will assist us with those efforts over the next couple of weeks, but now we move on to the care of people. There is a critical incident stress management debriefing that is occurring probably as we speak at the fire department for our police and fire that responded to this incident, and this is a critical part of understanding what they have experienced, them bonding together over what they shared experience that has occurred with them. I think one of the most profound things that struck me on Thursday evening as we were trying to find a place to locate ourselves, I realized that one of our sergeants had parked the police truck and had run through a field and into the woods, unsure of what was gonna meet him on the other side, but that is what our people do. And everybody played that role that evening, and I know that they were in burning jet fuel and other things that occurred, and so now we move our care and concern to what they experienced, not only mentally but physically, and ensuring that they are taken care of should they have needs past this in either one of those areas. Quite a few resources have been shared with the chiefs and I, with the supervisor, and we will make sure that our people have everything they need moving forward the best we can as they share with us what their needs are for moving forward. So this isn't something that just goes away. I wasn't part of the scene to the detail that some people were, and I can tell you I have been, I feel like I'm in fight or flight And I was just able to sleep for the first time last night. So I know that our chiefs feel that way. I know that the people that were responding feel that way. This affects everyone that was on scene. I know our supervisor is tired, but he has been a tremendous partner in helping me take care of, I was able to, with his assistance, take care of our people and the decisions that needed to be made for them while he handled media and other things external, getting us resources that we needed through the DNR, through different federal agencies. So we worked very well together, and I'm thankful for him and to all of the partners that assisted us with this. So I am open to you. If you have questions and I'm able to share the information, I certainly will. Not just today, but into the future. As the supervisor shared at the press conference yesterday, we will not probably know what happened for another year to a year and a half. There was a similar incident that occurred a year ago. They still do not know what happened there. So we anticipate this is going to be a long time coming, although the physicalness of this event, we're moving past that. There will be a lot of unanswered questions for some time to come. I want to assure you that our people were well equipped, though we've never dealt with anything like this. They were well equipped to handle this. They were impressive on scene. They were professional, and they were caring, and they were even consoling each other. So you can really see what a team we have in the police and fire. And as soon as we can, we will have Chief Kunter of the fire department and Chief Mardigan of the police department come and provide you with a briefing, a specific briefing from them to let you know. We have learned some things. We realize there are some things that we need. But we will continue to share that with you as we move throughout this process and discover what we can do better in the future to be better prepared. So if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Have we been able to hire any new police officers
We
yet
have
this
made,
year?
of the last group, we were able to make 2 offers. One will need to go through the academy, and one will be coming to us from a local community with 10 years of service. So we are very happy. I'm sure when those people, I think the background checks are being done at this time. And I'm sure Chief Mardigan will be thrilled to share those names with you when we have those people on board and probably introduce those 2 individuals to you. He's very excited. He is a little bit, he was a little bit feeling like he should have been able to fill all 3. I told him it's important for us to hire the right people. I mean, this is his legacy, and someday he could be, I said to him as Jack pinned him as chief, he could be pinning someone someday that he's hired right now. So I've reminded him that it's important that we get this right, and those people are fitting of being hired at Bath Township. So he, I believe, will hold another round of interviews after the first of the year. And I know he's looking forward to that because the stress that's being placed on current people is huge. It's very huge.
Yeah.
So closer, but not fully staffed yet.
Closer, but not
Okay.
fully staffed.
Do you know how they got the wreckage out of the woods?
I don't. I know that it was a crew of people and they were multiple trucks. It took multiple trucks to take it out.
I would assume they had to cut a road to there, cause it's really thick in
So our
there.
fire department did, as they, Chief Kunter yesterday at the press conference, there was an old road, as Trustee Rosecrans reminded me, that went back through there, but unfortunately, it was so unused that it had grown over with brush and just forest. And they, in fact, did have to use chainsaws and saws to create a road back through there. Even that, we were able to see where they did in fact cut to get trucks closer, but it is my understanding they drug a great deal of fire hose.
Almost a quarter of a mile, as the
and woods,
chief said, yeah.
to get water back to the scene, because there were multiple fires at that time.
Yeah, that road goes back to Burke Lake, back
Yeah.
in there.
So we were able to see some of that, but at some point it narrows, it
Yeah.
gets very difficult to imagine a fire truck going back there through that. So it makes a lot of sense once you've seen it, that people would be dragging hose and getting water back to the scene. Really not ideal conditions for what
No.
occurred.
Thank you.
Other questions? Anything else you want to share with us?
Thank you all for your support. It is always a balance of keeping you informed and at the same time learning what is needed to be done by the people. So it is ever a dance to balance the needs. And again, Mr. Supervisor, thank you for assisting me. He often, in the last couple of critical incidents, has taken that job of informing you and keeping you informed so that I can be with my people and make the decisions that need to be made at the time. So it is a partnership, and I appreciate each and every one of you for your support.
Thank you, Karen. That brings us to public statement 2. This is an opportunity for the public to make a comment to the board on topics here are open to other things involving the township, not just things on the agenda. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to make a public statement?
My name is Paul St. Pierre, and I have it's kind of more of a Bath Schools concern, but I feel like the township could maybe assist in this. As part of the bond issue this summer, one of the parts of the school bond was a new bus garage and a maintenance facility. And currently, the site that the Bath Schools are looking at is a forest that they own. It's behind the middle school and extends over to Slate Road. It's an absolutely beautiful piece of property, untouched, completely pristine, old growth woods. And that site is where they're potentially looking at building the new bus garage, which would ultimately level it. And it's just a travesty for that to happen, you know, with Bath and the beauty that we have here. I know that the township has some property that adjoins to school property. Bath Township also has, you know, other property around the area that might be possibly more suitable for, you know, a maintenance, you know, more of an industrial type of facility that would ultimately be. So I guess I'm just kind of trying to find out, is Bath Township open to discussions with the school? And, you know, as something that could be looked at if Bath Schools, you know, could talk with you about that. Is that something that they could talk with you about?
I think we're always open to talking to the school about whatever they need. As I mentioned, they were so kind to offer their support to us when we needed it. If that was something that the board or the superintendent wanted to discuss, I'm sure our superintendent and certainly I and other board members would be happy to participate.
Okay.
Is that fair, board? Anybody disagree with that?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think we have once again gotten through all of our public, so we'll move to board member comments. And Sherry, it's your turn to start.
As bad as our airplane crash was in the forest, I'm glad it wasn't in an apartment complex or a school. So, could have been on my house, another half a mile.
It's pretty close.
Really close. I was right in the flight path.
Thanks, Sherry. Right?
Yeah, I pretty much all set. I also would thank our emergency services for everything they did. They really did well for not having ever done it before, so.
Thanks, Ray.
That's it. Yep.
Same thing, thank you to the police and fire departments, and Karen and Ryan and Taylor
Definitely.
for working all weekend. Let's see, yeah, I guess that was it.
Thanks. I have just a few things as well. I think it's probably been clear to all of us, these critical responses in our community are just happening all the time now. I think it's a part of us growing. I think it's a part of us being near highly populated areas. I think we should be thinking about how we prepare for more of these things to happen. Again, I said yesterday at the press conference, thank you to the Bath voters for increasing the police and fire millage. It's just so clear why we need to invest in those folks. But I think as we think about the strategic plan, and a lot of it is already in there, and how we prepare for this in the future. Really proud of the response. Karen summed that up really well. You know, we have two relatively new chiefs in leadership. It was, while the situation was awful, it was very cool to see them in action, in their leadership, in their grace. I learned a lot about both of them on scene, and about our folks who just moved as soon as the chiefs issued orders. So I appreciate, I never thought we picked the wrong people, but I was assured Thursday night that these two guys are our people. I missed some thank yous yesterday in the press conference that I want to make sure I say, and Karen mentioned it, Senator Singh was available by phone. He helped navigate some things with the DNR, offered everything, whatever he could do to help, which was very helpful. Representative Cerniglu did the same thing. Our county commissioner, Dwight Washington, was very helpful in connecting us with the county and the emergency pieces of what had to happen at the county. And Tom Barrett's office was incredibly helpful in helping me navigate the federal shutdown. As I said yesterday, we received less support than we should have as a township because the federal government is shut down. I really appreciated his staff helping to make the calls and finding the people necessary and to help me work through that. We had folks on scene who were doing just amazing, critical, hard work that still are not getting paid, and I just want to keep saying that over and over and over again. Karen and I heard lots of conspiracies about what this plane was, and I just want to encourage all of us on the board and the public to wait until the report comes to figure out what happened. I won't even repeat some of them. Some of them are very laughable and wild. We just have no evidence of any of those things, so we'll know more about those things when the report comes out. The governor's office has contacted me to talk about what they can do to support, so tomorrow we'll be talking to them to figure out if there's more that they can do. So that's appreciated. And then just a huge thank you to Karen and Taylor, just being very responsive and helping to pull off the press conference yesterday in like, I don't know, 12 hours notice. And for something that we don't do very often, I think it turned out very well, and we showed that Bath Township is a community that can handle these things. So big thanks to Karen and Taylor for their leadership too. Speaking of Karen's leadership, it is time for Karen's review. As you all know, Karen has verbally agreed to the items that we have presented to her. She'll do that in writing, so we make sure we have that documented. But the next step then will be to send you all the survey again. We'll use the same survey so then we can measure year-over-year growth. I think at least one of you sent me an additional question to add that will be added, but please watch your inboxes for that. And then unless you all have different ideas, I thought the way we handled it last year went really well. We could have, if Karen requests it, a private session where we go over the results with her and talk between ourselves. That would be my plan unless there's objection from anyone or from Karen, who technically has to request that. So that's sort of our end of the year task. That's it from me.
Okay, I just want to say thank you to all the teams, many teams, that came together and worked through this tragedy.
Thanks, Brendan. Al?
Yeah, I'd like to thank our people that work for us. We don't realize what they can walk into. And we sometimes overjudge them. But when the times get tough, they get going. I'd just like to thank them, all of them, from the county on down.
Thanks, Al. Okay.
Yeah, same. I'll echo those sentiments. There are a lot of tough things that they are prepared for. I don't think anybody was prepared for a plane crash in Bath Township, but that's kind of part of the job, is you never know from day to day what you're gonna walk into. So I'm thankful that we have the staff to handle it, and I'm thankful that we live in a community that supports that. So I'm glad for all of that.
Thanks, Kate. I'm happy to report the Lions have already scored in the first, what, 4 minutes of the game. So if folks are interested in watching, I would recommend we adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
We have a motion to adjourn and a second. All those